it's just absolutely mind-blowing what I had to go through, and to make it out of it at the end of the day and to somehow get a championship and a Kelly Cup out of it. You look back and you're just like, all right, well, I guess it's worth it, no?
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to the booth. My name is CJ, and with me today, I've got Justin Bofshever.
What is up, everybody? Thank you.
Yes. Matt is not again here.
He's working hard.
He's
he better
a hustler.
be making some money or
Bro,
something.
He's gonna be a millionaire by the time he gets back.
Billionaire.
So how you been, man? How's everything?
I've been well. I've been working and enjoying life as always. Posting mini pods, so hopefully people have checked those out.
Yes.
But really just, as those say, like flowing through life and put a voice crack in there, but flowing through life always.
Dude, those mini pods were so sick. And
Thank you.
especially the last one, I was watching it and I was like, dude, it's just like at first I was like, okay. And then you said the numbers, like the money, like you compared the money to your time instead.
Definitely.
And then when you were like, you just give an hour of your time every single day for the next year. And I was just like, wow. Like, it like hit me because I've been struggling with some of that recently. And I was like, wow, that really hit home. So like, dude, you killed that dead ass.
I'm glad to hear. We didn't even script that there. That was genuine.
Yeah, seriously. And if you guys haven't checked it out, like Instagram's down below.
Yeah.
Go take a look because this man put a lot of effort and you did a great job.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I hope other people, I've been actually getting some good feedback, so it's really good to hear. And there'll be more to come, just figuring out what we're going to put out next. But I'm super happy to hear that people are enjoying those.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So with me, honestly, everything's been kind of the same. It's all good.
Been, bro?
Yeah, you know, it's all right. How you been doing, CJ? I've been doing pretty good, you know. Life's been kind of crazy lately, but we just got to keep rolling.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really have a good transition. Actually, I got back on the ice. I decided I got a call from Nico Bachman, Epi 2 guest, and he brought me out to play on his team for 3v3. We lost, but it was pretty good to get back out there. I got a battle scar.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
See if I can
zoom in on that.
Try to zoom in on there. But that was crazy. And our guest today is also another goaltender.
Yeah.
Who played in that league as well. And he's had an absolutely crazy year. So I can't...
crazier than all of us.
Yes. Very, very crazy. So let's get him on. All right. Today's guest is a man chasing what people would consider being an unrealistic dream for a Floridian, with not only just finishing his first year of pro hockey, but even winning the Kelly Cup with Fort Wayne Comets. Today inside the booth to talk about his journey to pro hockey, we've got Justin Kapelmaster.
What's up, boys?
What's up, baby? How you been, man?
I'm so excited. This is actually my second time here at the booth,
yes,
as we know. But dude, this place is sick. I'm so excited. We know we've talked about this. I've known you guys for a long time, and man, let's get into it.
I know.
Definitely.
Bro, I'm like trying to, dude, for some reason, and maybe you have your own podcast, and you've been, 83 episodes, 84?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude. Like, I'm
Do the nerves go away?
Yes, the nerves go away.
Like, we talked about this prior to your guys' podcast, but like, obviously we haven't had like an actual in-person interview.
Yeah.
So it's totally different. Like, we're on like Zoom, and we've been doing this since like probably about a month before COVID was even a thing, the first part of COVID.
Yeah.
And man, like, it was so nervous at first. Like, it's so hard to get out of that kind of like nervous like zone and just like be yourself and be comfortable. And I feel like it starts with the person that you're doing it with. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you guys have such a great relationship and like such a good like back and forth that like it fits you guys. And I feel like that's what me and my other co-host, Johnny Lazarus, who also played hockey, who I grew up with, didn't grow up with, but played with back in juniors. That's what, when we met. Like, he's so like just like personable, and like he's very vulnerable to the point where like I'm able to kind of shit on him, and he can take it very well, and so that's why like we're able to bounce back off each other. So the nerves go away, boys. The nerves go away.
Good to hear.
Honestly, it's easier.
For sure.
All right, so let's jump right into it, baby. So let's talk about hockey. Let's dive in
hockey
to the beginning, man. Where did this all start? How did you become goalie?
How did I become a goalie? How did you become a goalie, though?
Dude, it's probably the same thing as you. I swear, like everyone has the same story.
I know. You want me to go? All right. I'll go. So it was. I played roller, as I'm sure you boys did. Obviously,
definitely.
growing up,
It's the Florida hockey way.
You have to.
You're starting outside.
Have you heard of a Florida player, a Florida hockey player that started out playing ice and not roller? I feel like no shot, right? But
DM us.
DM us.
So started out roller. My first team, the Thunder. Played with guys Gabe Gertler, Ryan Murtaugh, Matt Greenfield, old school, 6 years old back in the day, just greasy.
So
that was like the first competitive hockey that I was in. 6 years old. We were going to the Narch year.
Yes.
What's that?
That was the big roller tournament.
Tournament. And before the roller tournament, we had a goalie. Like, it wasn't anything serious. Goalie drops out right before the tournament. Is CJ's laughing?
I knew it.
But it's so weird. So goalie drops out right before the tournament. We're at like practice that day. It's crazy how you remember this shit, right?
Yeah,
like all the way back in the day, you
Yeah.
have those things that you just like specifically remember. And coach was like, we don't have a goalie. We're going to Arch in like 2 weeks. Like, do you guys know anybody, or is anybody like interested in being a goalie? And like, we're that young. Man, I raised my hand. Like, I was a defenseman at the time. I was pretty solid. It wasn't bad.
You were confident in this. You were like, I got this.
I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I want this. Of course, my dad in the background, like at practice, like, no, this isn't happening. It's so expensive. We don't have equipment. We don't got this. The coach immediately said like, oh, I got equipment in like the back of my trunk, like that. So that was my first gear.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ended up going to Narch. Won gold, won the skills competition, came back. I was like, can't be defensive, can't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
So that was like the start of it. And then, I mean, it took off from there. But how is yours similar?
Dude, that's really the same thing. Like, I started playing roller hockey as a player, but I started like a year after I started playing ice hockey.
Yeah.
And my team, like one day the coach walked in and he was just like, goalie left. He moved away. We need another goalie. Who wants to play? And I was like, I guess I will. Like, I'll do it. Yeah. Got in net, and I remember crying in the beginning of the game. Like, my coach came up to me, and I'm like, I can't do this. He's like, don't worry. Like, just calm down. Like, you'll be fine. And ever since then, until I quit.
I actually, oddly enough, I started as a goalie playing street and roller hockey and then transitioned to forward.
Okay.
Maybe that's why the dynamic in here is so good.
I wonder if that's a thing though. Does everyone like start as something else and then switch over? Like, you started player or D to goalie, same thing, and then forward. I went goalie to forward.
I don't think like everybody does it, but it's more common than you think. I guess like it's pretty crazy. But I guess Boff's a little bit of a psycho too, because he has like that psycho gene in him because he played goalie, right?
Yeah, definitely, just a bit. Like, I always hung around the goalies. Like, all my teams, like, it was always hanging out with the goalies.
Yeah.
They're always the weird ones too, but I was like, fuck it.
Not us though. We're
cool. You guys are cool, yeah.
We know what we're doing. But so then after that Narch, and then it just like started like you did. I transitioned into ice right after.
Yeah.
And then like JT said, that's where it was. I remember now. You guys were all talking like, oh, we all left when we were 15 years old.
Yes.
Of course, I left when I was 15 years old.
Yep.
Went up to New York, played junior hockey, did that whole route.
That was with the New York Apple Corps, right?
What a team,
New York
too.
Apple Corps. Are you kidding me?
That's a my
You
God.
played a lot of games that year too. It says 34.
Yeah, so that was a crazy year, dude. Like, your first year away from home. I know you guys talked about it briefly, like just like the mindset you have, like leaving away from home and stuff like that. It's crazy. It really is.
Where were you at mentally with that transition? Like, I felt really excited to move like for my first year, but like deep down I was super nervous to be away from home. So like, how were you feeling with that?
Yeah,
jump?
man. It was a crazy summer. So I mean, first and foremost, I actually had a girlfriend, my current girlfriend, Courtney, who 9 years
really?
right now. Yeah.
Holy,
so that was like
ring on the finger.
Not yet.
I don't know if that's touchy.
No, it's not. She's a beauty.
Edit it out.
No. She's one of the good ones. She knows the deal. It's coming though soon. She knows once we're financially stable.
Yeah.
But that's another topic. So that's like we were starting to date. Like, that was the first year. That was like a whole nother topic about like when I was going away and stuff like that. But the main thing was that I got a Jewish mom, boys, as you know.
Yes.
Crazy Jewish mom who your little baby boys leaving away from home at 15 years old. Like, it's crazy. So we talked about a lot of stuff that was going on, like where I was going to go, and she traveled to all the different places that I was thinking about going.
Because to check them out first.
Just to check them out.
By herself?
My mom, me and my mom.
Oh, you went with her. Okay.
Oh yeah, my mom.
I bet your mom went travel.
Mom goes for the first interview.
Right. I stayed home in Florida. My mom goes up, talks to everybody. So my mom goes up with me, and when we were in New York, she ended up talking to this guy, Henry Lazar. After I went to a few other places, I was thinking about going to prep school, other routes.
Yeah.
And this guy, she told him to him straight up. She said, you know, my boy's leaving 15 years old. I want the best billet family. I want to make sure that he's taken care of. I want blah, blah, blah. And he said, sure, like, sounds good. I understand everything. And I ended up having the absolute best billet family of all time.
Nice.
The kids played on the team. Like, we lived in Long Beach, New York, dude. Like, such like a cool, like,
Yeah.
like
sure it's so
people
dope.
that don't know Long Beach, New York, it's like, it's New York, but like on the beach.
It's the place
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
That's where my family's from, so we visit there.
Oh, you're from
Yeah.
Long Beach?
Yeah.
No,
Or my
or your
family
family's
is,
from
my
Long
family
Beach,
is.
New York?
I got
No
family out
way.
there also.
Yeah.
No way.
I think, yeah.
So like just like an amazing area, and like me coming from Florida, like obviously, I mean, we've all traveled playing hockey like across like the country and shit like that, but like I've never been to a place like that where it's like snows, but like I'm still like kind of on the beach. Like that's Florida,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Like they had like a little like bungalow place like around the beach. Like
Oh, yeah.
so cool.
And that was U16, right?
No, so that was junior
So the EMJHL is junior.
Empire. So like
That's first year juniors, yeah.
So that's before they like transitioned.
Yeah,
so,
I remember
it
that
was
league.
Empire and EJ.
Yes,
and
the
AJ.
Bandits had that
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. So and then they transitioned. Now it's like all the USPHL and USPHL
Yeah.
And the
Premier.
NCDC.
yeah.
Exactly. So Apple Corps was a part of that and stuff like that. So it was a crazy year. So I ended up playing there for 2 years, and then I switched over. And I love New York so much, I just went to the New York Bobcats.
Yep.
Which a couple kids on the Apple Corps team transitioned over there and stuff like that. I also had family in New York too. Like that's another thing. My mom's best friend, who I consider my aunt, lived in Merrick, New York, and then I had my actual aunt who lived in Brooklyn. So it was like very, very easy. Like I felt very homey, but like from a mental state, the early years, like I mean, there was times like I straight up like was like staying in my room. Like I didn't go like I didn't go out sometimes just because like man, I'm so young. Like you don't process like what's going on.
Yep.
You don't realize all your friends are back home. It's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas
Yeah,
going to
going
school,
partying, doing whatever.
Exactly. I tell people this all the time, and like I've talked about it in other podcasts that we were on too. Like, what if I didn't go away at 15? Like, or what if I didn't go play college? Like. Out of state for hockey, I would straight up be at either University of Central Florida or Florida State in a frat with all my boys. No, I'm not getting laid. I got a girlfriend.
Still wife though.
Oh yeah, your girlfriend. Yeah, but you still party
be in
with
a
your
house,
house.
absolutely
your own
fun.
house.
But you guys, I mean, a hockey team is a frat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like at the same time, you had that.
You get that
bond.
experience,
You did
yeah.
get that experience. Maybe not to a certain level, but you do get that experience.
Well, I'm sure you find like sorry, I mean,
No,
cut you
go
off, but
ahead.
like when you come home and it's like, I mean, you had a girlfriend though, so I feel like maybe it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like, and you have like some friends that come back home too. But I remember when I came back home, I felt like alienated.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like I'd be out in public and it's like everyone's having all these different conversations about what happened throughout the year and this person and that person. I'm like, and who is that person? Who's that person?
Yeah.
And I'm just like completely lost.
Yeah.
Like, did you find that was similar for yourself?
Surprisingly, no. See, I was blessed in that sense. So I had a very tight knit group of friends when like through like Coral Springs middle, like elementary school,
Yeah.
to like my freshman year of high school before I went away. Like
Oh.
from like So I did spend 1 year at Stoneman Douglas. So my freshman
Oh,
year.
same here.
Yeah,
To go,
of
the
course.
1 year Douglas.
Got the 1 year at the high school hockey team. I was good to go.
I wasn't allowed to play high school hockey that year.
Really?
George Nuccio would not.
Shout out
calling
George
him out,
Nuccio.
but also
Wait, is
shout
George
out.
the one that was like always screaming all the time? Oh my
But he would not let any of us play high school hockey that year. That was the year that we went to nationals, and he was like, "I don't want anyone getting hurt." He's like, "If you play high school hockey, like you're not playing for this team." So
Damn.
like, yeah, none of us got to play that year.
Are you kidding me?
No,
I didn't.
Not.
What was the like exact reasoning?
I guess maybe.
what I remember is
no
like
one
no
was
one was
supposed
supposed
to
to
get
get
hurt. Like,
out
there
there
and
and,
like I don't know, like just not don't get hurt.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But back to your question. So I had my girlfriend back here in like that tight knit friend group.
Yeah.
To the point where I was able to communicate them. My girlfriend wasn't with me when I was away. She was obviously back home at high school. Like I mean, so I was able to. I knew what was going on. I knew everything that was going on. So when I came home, it was basically just fit right back in.
Yeah.
Which was so nice and everything like that. And I mean, but then again, it gets harder as you
Yeah.
get older. They go to college. They get different friend groups. Stuff like that. You come home, the friend group gets smaller. It's you, your girlfriend, and 2 other kids. And it's like,
Yeah.
where'd you go? Where'd everybody else go?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then you almost feel like you said, like alienated in the other sense, where it's like you try to tell stories and stuff, and people don't even relate sometimes. But
Yeah.
it's like they don't go through that. Like they don't understand that. Like chemistry you have with like the brotherhood with like just the boys, and you spend like, you're not going out partying, you're in the locker room like day after day, but you're building like a bond and still having fun doing some other, just like hanging out that other people can't relate to a lot of things.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely a different bonds for sure. Like, I mean, you guys know, obviously playing hockey and stuff like that. I feel like I said that like 3 times already. You guys know. You guys know.
A little bit.
But seriously, you guys know. I lost my train of thought again. That's why I said that. What were you saying before?
About like the brotherhood and just building.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But like the brotherhood, like you said, Bof. Like when you come back home and you go to like parties, and like sometimes I'll like bring like my hockey friends over, and like you start communicating with them, and like they have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, what kind of language? Like the first couple of years, like I spent a year in Canada, and like I would come home from Canada, my girlfriend, like I'd be saying some shit like my like language, and like I'd be saying like A or like
hey,
I
sick
like,
beauty.
I spent that same year. That same year we were in Canada. I was there too.
Were you?
I was Toronto.
But there were specific, like I would come home and like I would say something and she'd be like, what are you talking about, and stuff like that. So I would definitely like change in that aspect. But from like a friend group standpoint, it's different. Like there's a different bond you have with your hockey players than you have with like your other friends. Like 100% without a doubt. Like I'll bring like my hockey friends, like some of them are different, but like you bring a group of hockey friends around your normal friends, they're gonna probably
you're like, hey, don't like, smash anything, don't go too crazy,
smacking people's butts and shit, because like I feel like with the boys you're more intimate than like with your friends back at home. It's like the vibe is very different. Like you're more like open, like completely open around like your hockey boys. I feel like
100%.
I feel you're just going through like, and at some point like held together, like you're getting like bag skated or whatever. You're either like doing really well in the season and happy and building a bond, or you guys are doing shit and like seriously you guys are like, all right, we're in the trenches together, so like fuck it, like do or die now.
No, definitely.
Before we get too far from like the start, I want to ask, how did you know hockey was your thing? Like what about hockey did you like definitely. Was this is it? Like
that's
I want to
question, dude.
Keep doing this.
And then when did that come also to follow that up?
What do you mean? Like when did I realize that?
Was it young, or was it like now, like in between?
I mean, like I grew up like playing not just hockey. I loved lacrosse. My dad didn't let me play football because I was a fat kid when I was young. So like they did it by like weight classes. So like it wasn't by age groups. So I would have been like 6 years old playing with like 12-year-olds, and my dad was like, nah. My hockey coach was like, nah. So honestly, from that standpoint, like there wasn't like a moment where I realized like, man, hockey's my thing. It was more so like, man, I'm really good at this. And kind of that year where, you know, you realize you're from Florida, all your friends are either going away or they're staying back home.
That's a big year.
You know what I mean? Like how often did that happen where that year that you really need to make that decision where you're going to go away, and like, you know, you're talking to your friends, you're talking to all these people, and they're, you know, guys are staying home, guys are going away, guys are going to prep school. Do you want to, it depends on the
big decision time.
It is. It depends on the situation that you're in at that time. You don't know. Definitely. Everybody's in a different situation at that point in time in your life. You know, some like me, some people could have a girlfriend at that time before they're about to leave. Some people may not. But there wasn't a point where I realized like hockey was my thing. It was more so I was good at this. I left home when I was 15 years old. Those first couple years in juniors were a grind, man. Like it's just grinding it out, trying to win games, trying to play hockey. And like at that point, like my goal from day one was my parents aren't wealthy. I didn't come from a wealthy background. You know, you see people in this business that do, and they get you know, extra stuff for it. They might get, you know, stuff like that. Politics, it is what it is. But my goal from day one was I'm going to college regardless, and I'm getting a full ride so my parents don't have to pay for it. Like whatever I have to do possible to get that, I'm going to do it. It happened to be that hockey was that route, and like I realized that I can get there by playing hockey.
That's amazing.
And then like once I got to college, it was just like another stepping stone. You know what I mean? It's just like different like tasks you have to like. It was like, okay, got that full ride, got that. Now what's next? Okay, maybe we can make some money doing this. But also at the same time, you know, like let's get it. But that's a whole other topic. I didn't start thinking that till like my junior year of college. Honestly, it was more so like, let's win games. Let's get good numbers in college. Let's enjoy college, and let's get a degree. You know what I mean?
But does that mean like throughout your whole junior career, were you not taking hockey as serious then, or were you?
No, I was. That's just because of like my competitive background. Like I cannot stand to lose in anything. That's just like been my personality. Like I really can't. So it was more so like, no, I wasn't taking any easy from that standpoint at all. It was more so just like I knew my goal, and then like but the reason is I didn't commit till my last year of junior hockey.
Yeah.
You know, my last possible year, I had the opportunity to get that Division I scholarship. I didn't commit. So
So you played your 20 bomb season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, you know,
that's like a nerve-wracking year when you're trying to figure out like, when is my career over? Am I going to go to school and you're unsigned like it is?
Oh, it was every other year. You know, that's what's in the back of your. It's a huge head game, dude. Like that's why I'm so like I really believe in like mental health and supporting mental health, because like, especially from like my position in a goalie, like that position to more specifically, like you go through so much stuff. You go through so many ups and downs. It is insane. Like people do not realize. They really don't.
Yep.
Do you guys
and like quarterback? Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you guys find yourself like as like being like you said, quarterback or the goalie, like that like last person or position? Do you put like a huge amount of stress on yourself, and as well as like when things go wrong, like do you take that blame inwards, or do you like look out and be like, oh, the defense probably should have had this position? I feel like you guys get into like a zone where it's like you feel like you should have been able to stop, and it's got to be like almost overwhelming all the time.
Yeah, it's different. I feel like it's different for all goalies. I feel like the better goalies blame themselves when something bad happens. They don't, and I wouldn't say better goalies. I don't know what the word is, but and I had that problem. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like every goalie's had that problem.
Of course,
man. I've done it. I did it my last year in pro. You know, like you're having a bad game. You're off. A goal goes in off your defenseman's stick, and you pointed him like or you just little stuff like that. Like he knows it went off him. Like what's he gonna do? He's trying to block the shot. Just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So man, it's just a whole mental ball game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that,
dude? I mean, for me, it was like, fuck you, D. No,
but some guys are like that.
Dude, 100%.
I don't mean to say like you're passing the blame on them. I just mean like I feel in that position like it's if you guys lose the game, you're like, fuck, if I would have just stopped more shots, we could have won that game.
Definitely.
And it's got to be just really mentally, like you're saying, difficult to be able to rebound every night, especially like pro or juniors where you're playing every other night, and be able to like say, all right, I got to move on from this, learn from my mistakes, and be able to just keep moving forward in a sense.
Oh, dude, it's a mind game. It's a straight mind game. Like I believe that goalie is probably 75% skill and honestly 25% mental.
Yeah.
It's such a mental game. It's crazy. Letting up a goal. So many different things could happen throughout a game. A guy runs you. Like I learned this in pro, honestly, more than college, because college is more structured. NCAA, everything's very protected. Like pro, it's like, especially in the ECHL, it's no holds bar. It's run and gun. Everybody, you know what I mean? Say what you want, do what you want. Like
everyone's fighting for
like
a spot.
don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
that's
what it is.
It's just like a better null, because I feel like the null was like, dude,
gritty.
Yeah, you have like a shitty night. It's like, all right, get him the fuck out of here. Like send him doing it somewhere else.
No, it is. And a perfect example, when I got called up to Cleveland this year, in the AHL, my first game in Texas on the road, packed house. They were, every time I made a whistle, every time I stopped the puck, every time I held on to the puck, these kids were in my grill. Get back to the coast, buddy. What are you doing here? You're, all this stuff. Like,
holy. How do you take that? Like, has it been hard to? I'm sure you don't let it affect you to some point. Yeah. How have you built up that wall or whatever? Yeah. Like, did it affect you in the past?
Yeah, it's definitely grown over the years. I think like not just the way that people have tried to like get you off your game in the actual game. I think just like stuff like away from the ice and stuff like that. That's like that tries to distract you. Like I think I've gotten better being able to block that stuff out more. I think back in the day, like more like junior hockey, I think like guys were able to get under my skin a lot more, doing stuff. But like I feel like as I've grown up, like I feel like I've realized like that's a part of the game, and like that could really like impact like the game. Like honestly, like impact like as a goal, your role is so important.
Definitely.
That obviously you got to realize that all these guys are trying to do, if you're on your game, is they're going to try and do something to get you off it.
Yep.
That's at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. And I think that as I've gotten older, especially once I've like got the opportunity to realize like what professional hockey is, I feel like I've got the opportunity to kind of block that out more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then like juniors, like I don't know how like the Golden Hawks and like any of those, but like your fan base in Wichita was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like I remember my first time with Fairbanks, and like I remember stepping into that stadium like first game home, and like our was packed, and I'm like standing there and I'm just like, holy shit, like now, like this is like where like we all dreamed about, like playing, like this opportunity of playing in front of all these people and making that stellar save and winning these games and this and that. But when I got there, I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did you handle that? Like when you started playing in front of your like first time fans, where people are talking shit, people are banging on the boards, people going crazy.
It was crazy, dude. Like I actually got like a first like glance into that pretty early. So the Golden Hawks, like you mentioned, fan base was crazy that year.
Oh, really?
Little greasy barn in Trenton, like
New Jersey?
No, Trenton, Ontario.
Oh, okay, all right.
Trenton, Canada. And the fan base was amazing, dude. They would sell it every night. We actually had a really, really strong team. We had like 10 Division I commitments. Like,
wow.
I know in the OJ, like back then it was.
I mean, OJHL is pretty good league.
Yeah, it was solid, but I think that it's decreased since then. But it back then it was phenomenal.
That's Junior A, isn't it?
Yeah, Junior A.
Yeah.
It's like Junior A tier 2 or whatever it is. Regard. It's like comparable to like the Null.
Okay.
But so that year the fan base was so amazing. So I really like that was like my first like, oh my god, this is like nuts. And honestly, some of the away teams were like had a good amount of fan base, but nothing like crazy. So like from guys yelling at you and stuff like that, and like they didn't do that because that was like our home rink. So like my first introduction to that was college.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wichita. Like
Wichita wasn't like that great of a barn. Like we had like the Roberts Cup and like obviously.
Yeah, but that was
I know like the fan base stuff like that. But I mean like you think about the fans like that are in our division. Like there wasn't really like crazy. Like there was the crazy junior fans, but it wasn't to a point where it was like loud. It was more so like I had that mindset of all right, like I'm playing junior hockey in Wichita Falls, Texas, and I got these fans coming out to watch me play Wichita Falls. Like, what are they going to say to me that's going to piss me off more? You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like my mindset back then. It was more so like when I got into college and I saw like packed crowds and these guys just saying stuff that like
people you walk around with too.
Like the student section.
I have some crazy stories, crazy stories about college.
One that you can say?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, you want me to tell one?
Yeah, let's hear one.
So, my sophomore year at Michigan at Yost Arena, crazy, one of the craziest environments I've ever played in. Probably one of the craziest environments I've ever played in. They were actually honoring, you'll like this, CJ, they were honoring Marty Turco that night.
Oh shit.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Michigan alum, Michigan Hall of Famer probably. So they're honoring Marty Turco. Crazy night, sold out barn. We're tied 2-2 going into overtime. They got Quinn Hughes on their team. So a little backstory. Cole Norris was on our team at Ferris. His brother Josh Norris was on Michigan. So we had a little like insider. This is how I knew this was going on. Their whole student section before their games, they have a whole layout. It's pretty sick of everybody's names. So it'll be blah, blah, blah. This, so big Justin Kapelmaster, Twitter bio, girlfriend, Courtney Terrell, parents' names, Instagram handle with maybe like a picture from me from fucking 12 years ago. Yeah. So like every player in our team had that. And we got that because his brother was on our team. He sent us a picture after the game. And we were reading this like, no fucking way.
That's how they were chirping you guys?
Yeah. And so one more on the, and they tell you, like some of like the seniors, they tell you when you're going to these barns, like these barns, like when you're going to these rinks, like, hey, put your Twitter on private, put your Instagram on private. Like random people are going to try and add you. And this is how they like find shit. Like, it's like they're head of like the student section doing this.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Another backstory. It was a 2-weekend game in Michigan. The first game we lost like 8-3. I didn't play, but we lost like 8-3. So the next game, tied 2-2 going into overtime. They got Quinn Hughes on their team. And the only reason I keep saying that is because he's part of the story. So Quinn Hughes in overtime walks down the half wall, shoots a puck like kind of like above my pad, like I'm holding the post on my
awkward
knees.
Position.
And there's like 3 bodies in front of the net, and I'm holding it, and I get pushed back into me. Puck rolls in. They're celebrating. Michigan. You know the Michigan fight song. Yep. They're all going nuts. We'll have to pull up the video after you see it.
Definitely.
We'll put it in the thing.
Oh, there's a video?
There's a video.
Oh, it's definitely
and you could see me like sprinting towards the ref because I know this is goal interference. I'm like, no, whole team's off the bench. Fight song's going. My girlfriend's in the stands, by the way.
Holy shit.
And this is part of it too. I'll tell you that part after. So they review the goal. I'm like, honestly, it was pretty quick. It was like a 30-second review, no goal. Michigan's back on the ice. Fans are booing the whole rest of the time. A minute later, we come down. My boy Riker Killen's one-timer goal was nuts. It was the first time Ferris has beat Michigan at Michigan in like 10 years. It was a really cool experience.
That's sick.
So like from a fan perspective, bro, so my girlfriend was at that game. She was able to come to a couple games that year in Ferris. They were chanting "We love Courtney" probably the whole entire third period.
She was in the stands.
And so little backstory on my girlfriend. diehard hockey fan, loves hockey, big Florida Panthers fan. Like just great, like knows a lot about the game. Like she'll go up to you guys, want to have a conversation with her about a team. Like she'll talk to you about it. It's really so she knows what the hell she's talking about.
Yeah.
And she won't. And she like, so if somebody's talking shit about her, man, like she won't take shit. Like she'll give it back to you. But like, which she needs to understand. And she probably had a few beers that night. I'm not gonna, like, she definitely was probably pretty buckled. But like the one thing I told her, I'm like you come to my games, like if something like this happens, like you need to know, like to back down. Like
professional.
You know all the shit that people have tried to say to me or DM'd me and stuff like that over the years, tell me I sucked, and like I don't write back. Like I want to, but I don't. So that was like the craziest, one of the craziest.
Dude, that is nuts.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been to that ring for like 2 games, I think, and the energy there is crazy. So I can just picture like that chant and everything. And I've always wondered, like, what the hell is the goalie thinking? Because they always target you. Like, it's always at the goalie. I've always noticed that.
It's hard not to smile when that's going on.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-2 hockey game. Like, there's a lot on the line. I'm like, I'm dialed in. Like, I'm having a good game. So, like, I feel like if, like, I could smile and, like, it's not going to affect my game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, but at the same time, I'm like, how could you not think, like, fuck, my girlfriend's in the, this is the problem, is they put her like a row behind the student section. That was like where the family setup was.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm thinking like, man, like, please, like, all right, how many beers has she had? Like, what's going through her? I'm like, all right, has she like killed anybody yet? So like last part on that story, after the game, she like comes up to me, so, oh my God, like, what we did, blah, blah, blah. Like great. She's like, by the way, look at this. Has like 5 DMs from like kids in the student section, like pair essays. This is why your boyfriend sucked at hockey.
Oh my gosh.
And then she's replying, and I'm like, no. That's about enough of that.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Holy shit.
Dude, I remember in Fairbanks, we used to have like a chant, like where we hit like 4 goals, and like the whole crowd would be like, hey goalie, how many goals do you lit up? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then be like, you suck, and like everyone would go crazy. And I remember like my second year coming back, dude, we had like a little, because like, you know, during main camp, you're like having some like scrimmages and stuff like that, and we had one lady that came that day, and like I already had like 3 great games like a couple days before, and like that day I just wasn't on. Like I let up like 4 goals, and like she just started cheering that shit at me, and I was like, I thought you were supposed to be one of our fans. Like, what is this?
Dude, the fans are ruthless.
Dude, they don't nuts.
If you're not winning, like, they're ruthless.
Seriously.
Well, fans are crazy, man. Like, even this year, like, I mean, I had the fans at pro hockey are nuts. They
even
really
more
are.
nuts.
And I got to experience like multiple different fans from multiple different teams, and it was just, it was a crazy time.
So we just had a guy on, Nick Flandy, talking about college hockey.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could pick your brain about. I mean, like, dude, you were playing D1. I don't know how the schedules maybe differ, but I'm sure D1 maybe a little more. What's the word? Like
structured?
Yeah, not structured, but just like I feel like maybe you have lot more going on.
Yeah,
or
more
is it
time
the same?
consuming.
Yeah, way more. Yeah, is it more time consuming? Do you know anyone that plays D3? Like, is it?
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, I think it would be. I think some Division 3 programs and like just like some Division 1 programs, like they're all different. They're all like differently structured, you know what I mean? Obviously Division 1 is, I think, much more structured than Division 3 and much more time consuming, but man, it's crazy. Like obviously, I mean, just like an example, Timmy Kent plays Division 3.
Yeah.
But it all depends. Like I know he's extremely time consuming at school. Like, like it's different. Balancing school and hockey, it's not for everybody. Like I know kids who went to Ferris like their freshman year. I mean, I'll give an example. Like one of my good buddies, Cooper Zek.
Yeah.
Oh man, Cooper.
Yeah, you know Cooper.
Yeah.
So Coop goes to Ferris freshman year. Stud defenseman, little kid, like 5'2".
Sick,
no,
though.
He's like 5'6". Yeah, really good player. Comes to Ferris and like we know, like he's just not a school guy. Like he just doesn't like. He wants to just play hockey. He wants to play hockey. Maybe he'll after hockey come back, maybe get a degree. But like he was saying, like I don't care what like offer I get out of my freshman year, but I'm not coming back here. He ended up having a great freshman year, signing with the AHL with the Providence Bruins. So it's like insane. Solid, but
wow. Gee. That's awesome, bro.
He manifested that. He's like, I'm gonna fucking come back here.
Good freshman. But dude, it's crazy. I mean, I was a pre-law major my first 2 years of college at Ferris. So like freshman year wasn't bad, but it gets to be a lot. It really does. And then obviously when I transferred to Robert Morris, they kind of had like a miscommunication with my major, and I ended up just getting a general studies. But like that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. But like, how was it? Like, how was it managing your time? Like, did you do that well when you were playing hockey at college?
I think I did. I think my freshman year, maybe not so much. I mean, I still got good grades, like, but I don't think I managed my time a lot. I think I was tired a lot of the time.
Yeah.
From going out to school and hockey, it was crazy. And I wasn't like prepared for it, honestly, because before college, I was doing Florida virtual. You know what I mean? Good old Florida virtual.
I graduated.
You a Florida virtual major?
I'm a graduate.
Let's go. I'm a graduate.
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years.
Same,
strong.
3 years.
Douglas to 3 years of Florida virtual. Actually, Douglas to a fake school, then uncredited, then repeated that for 3 years.
So Douglas to an all Catholic school to 2 years Florida virtual school. That's another story. That was a great.
To a college graduate.
Yeah. But no, dude, like, I mean, balancing my, like, it was extremely hard at first, like my freshman year, like early on, it was definitely very tough, especially when I realized, like, okay, like my freshman class is going out every fucking night. Like,
Like, and you weren't a partier.
No, I mean, honestly, like my freshman, sophomore year, I loved to, like, I mean, I was drinking, like I drank a lot. I really did. I mean, like, sorry, coach, but like, I mean, like the boys went out a lot. Like the whole team did. Like that's what you do. Like a lot of teams do that. They go out, they have fun, but not on game days, not on practice days. Like you know when to do it. But man, Ferris was. I mean, we had a small town, dude. One bar in the whole entire town.
Called bar, probably.
Called Star Shooters. The whole entire town, like the whole college. It's just a little college town. I wish you guys could see it. You got to look it up. It's just a little college town. The whole town would go to the bar on the weekend. So it was just like it's a really cool experience. But I think as I like later in my college career, especially my junior and senior year, that's when I was like, I got into like that routine, got into a routine. I got into everything like that. And then especially in pro, it's like, okay, if you don't have a routine in pro, see you later. Like go back to Florida. Like what the fuck are you doing? If you don't have a routine, if you're not doing, you got your shit before the game, you got your shit after the game, you got, you know, like, because everybody's doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean? So what does that look like? What is that for
like
you?
routine? Mine. So during the season, it's like my pregame warm. I have a whole like stretch, like rollout routine, like stuff like that. My biggest thing is hydration. Like if I'm not pissing like white before the game, I won't dress.
Really?
That's like my one suit. No, it's yeah, just like sorry, coach.
Yeah. This man's done.
This is a little yellow tonight, coach.
Dude, I've heard some. Bro, I had some guys. There was one time a goalie that played for Fairbanks. There was a story where like he had to have like a certain peanut butter and jelly before the game, and one day it wasn't made. He would not play. He would not play. He was like, I can't go in. I can't go in. I'll lose.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Not to go off on a little side rant, but that's why I had that's why I have that flow, because the routine, like I said, like ties you down in that sense right there. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Like, you know, but you have to have the structure on the other hand, and that's where if you don't have it, you're lost, and it's like, go back to Florida, buddy. Like, dude, you need to do more.
No, 100%. And
what is start like from the beginning though, because for me personally, I always got really tired before I went to games, and I could never figure out like that perfect recipe.
Game day routine. You want game day routine?
You got the nap
Before I go into game day routine, CJ has brought up the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, his old team, like 75 times. I don't know if you guys don't know this, but CJ's Fairbanks Ice Dogs actually knocked me off in the Robertson Cup Championship, which is like the league we played in is one of the top 2 junior league in the country.
Definitely at the time, at least.
Yes,
I don't
100%.
100%.
And our league that year was very, very, very good. We were the top 2 teams. We ended up playing each other in the finals, and we ended up losing. And CJ's got the ring for that. Now I do have another ring, but CJ's got that
ring. A really much cooler ring.
The last time we were here for the podcast that we did with the 3v3 league, I immediately I'm like, let me see the ring. Send it to all the boys in the Snapchat group. Yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but like our team from that year in Wichita was so goddamn close. Like you have no idea.
We were close, but like, everyone. We had a lot of like just.
That's why we were so upset that we lost. Like I've never been on a team that close in my entire life, dude. We still like Snapchat groups, text groups, like it's crazy. Think how long ago that was.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
And that's where I met who I do the podcast with, Johnny Lazarus. Like that's where I met him. Like it's just like that's why we were so upset. But
15, 16.
Fun fact about that same year, my team holds a record that same year. I'm proud. Proud to say
you guys held the record, and we held the record.
The Kenai River.
Oh yeah.
We won we lost the most consecutive null games in a row. 30 game losing streak at the beginning of that season.
Yep.
And
you got the most losses ever in a season too? Or
I think we might hold 2 records, but it was crazy.
It was a bad year.
And it was the worst best worst time of my life, but it amounted like I ended up getting traded and getting to go play like in a much better I don't want to say
Program.
better, but like organization that's just amazing.
A better spot for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, definitely mentally
Keena had a lot
too.
of problems that year, man.
Yeah, but it just that league and that story, like we were all right there that same exact year. It's funny to see how things play out,
Seriously.
different paths going on that same like different road for everyone.
Shout out to our boy Bomber too. He was on that team.
Yeah.
We talked about that
Absolutely.
before. Jeff Baum
Yeah.
played with him in Dubuque a little bit.
Yeah.
But all right. So game day routine.
Yeah.
All right. So usually wake up, pregame skate. I'm just gonna go based off last year's, my most recent year.
Okay.
So let's wake up, pregame skate. Before the pregame skates, stretch out, roll out, just like probably like a 25, 30-minute skate, not even. So stretching, rolling out, doing all that stuff. I'm not going to get specific into the actual stretches that I do.
Of course, yeah.
How many seconds
No,
each
yeah.
Yeah.
How much water?
But basically like 10, 15 minutes, not even. Maybe play a little sewer. That's it.
Yeah.
Go home. Skate. Do the same thing after, like little stretches. Honestly, I never did. Like stretching is so goddamn important.
Yeah.
Glad you said it.
That is like oh my god. Like
Yeah.
I know, like you're not even a goalie. Like
Yeah.
stretching is so
No, no.
no, but I know how like involved in like
Yeah.
how much like you love like all this shit. Like
Yeah.
dude, stretching is
Yeah.
so important. So like especially, I mean, I'm 25, dude. Like I don't have the 17-year-old legs that I used to, but like still buzzing. But still,
Yeah.
shout out the buzz spot.
Yeah, shout out, baby.
So stretch after skate, go home, and it's always chicken and pasta. That's what I need. So
Sorry,
No, no,
is it
no.
Alfredo butter or red sauce?
I'm an Alfredo guy, but I
Pregame?
will mix the sauce.
I couldn't do Alfredo pregame.
Light.
Okay.
I'm not a lot of sauce guy, just a little light.
Gotcha.
If you don't get it, you won't play.
No, I have a couple hot spots. I
Yeah.
love trying new places. Whatever's the best chicken parm or something like that. But,
Yeah.
So literally just chicken and pasta. I know, but guys got all different kind of stuff they eat
Yeah.
and whatnot. And then just I just like vibe for like an hour or so, and then
You take nap?
Yes, and I need to get like a good hour and a half, like hour and a half, and I'm chilling. So
Did you look that up, or did you just find like a good
No.
sweet spot for your body?
Yeah, just found a good sweet spot. I felt like if I slept too much, I was a little drowsy. If I slept too little, I was like shit. Like I needed that extra 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So then wake up, get the old suit on, figure out, and then
Cold showers, or you take a warm shower, or
I knew this was coming, boys. I'm a warm shower, but I'm getting into the cold showers. No, I am. But like, okay, let's talk about that for a second. So every time you take a shower, it's cold now?
No.
Okay.
I did that for a month straight to like, I don't even really know why, but it was really, I enjoyed it. But no, more of, I would say every single morning.
Okay. But like you do still take warm showers?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, because I love a nice warm shower.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously
right.
we're from Florida,
Yeah.
but like, you know, especially like, come on, think about it. You playing up north.
That's the big the difference. And like down here in Florida, like the water's a little warmer,
Yeah.
you know, but I remember being like when I was in Canada and like we had our shower, we lived in the attic and we had the shower in the basement. It was a fucking hall.
Yeah.
But it was freezing down there. And I just remember like every time I'm in my shower here, I'm like thinking, I wonder how much colder that water actually
Yeah.
is. But no, I take them every single morning and I'll mix them in like here and there throughout the day. Like if I'm feeling it at that point, but I enjoy the warm shower at night. It definitely unwinds me.
So you think the cold shower just like, you think it rejuvenates just your whole body? You think it so I think it like, I mean, I've taken cold showers. Like I like them too. And I want to, I mean, not cool. I don't know, because I've heard it from specific trainers throughout the years, but I'm a religious ice bath taker.
Yeah.
I forgot that in my routine.
Definitely.
Like before
for games?
after pregame skate, it's ice bath.
oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's before games on game day. It's
Okay.
ice bath before. Yeah, I'm religious. After game, ice bath. If I'm playing the
Yeah.
next day, ice bath. I don't know. I find that it helps my leg. I really do. But I have heard that it's like some people are like, oh, that doesn't do anything. It's a myth. But from the cold shower standpoint,
Yeah.
I feel like it rejuvenates my body. I feel like
Definitely.
if I'm feeling tired, like it wakes me up, especially in the morning. Like a nice cold shower to start the day. Like boom, you're awake.
Yeah.
Even like my girlfriend says sometimes, like she'll take a warm shower at night. She's like, oh, warm shower. Now I'm ready for bed. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
like you're just like,
definitely.
you know, you're out.
Yeah.
And those ice baths is one of the biggest things I miss about playing hockey because like most of those rinks when you get like higher up have,
No way.
dude, because like I love them too. Like I was the same way. I had to take them
Yeah.
religiously. And we were talking about in the last episode with JT about like the difference between the shower and the ice bath and like you probably do get more benefit out of the ice bath, but not everyone has an ice bath at home. So I just find in those showers, like there's a lot of things you can take out of it, like the rejuvenation, the awake feeling. But the biggest thing that I'll touch on like every time is that like I don't necessarily want to take it. Like I want to take that warm shower and I want to just sit in there for 20 minutes and be like, oh, this is fucking amazing. But the thing is like, I just feel like at least starting my day, I don't want to start like that. I want to just like it's like, I don't really want to do this, but I can. And like mentally, it's just like a little like hurdle. And I'm going to be getting through hurdles all day. There's going to be a lot of things during the day that I don't really necessarily want to do, but have to do. And I know I don't have to take that shower, but it's like a little like practice exercise that you don't like, that you just,
it's building that compound effect, baby.
Exactly. I know that like, I don't want to do this, but mentally I know that I can perceive it a little differently. And as soon as that shower ends, I'm like, fuck, that was amazing. And the biggest thing I've found from this is that every morning I go to do it. Like I said, I stand there, and there's some mornings I'll stand there for 5 minutes, just like looking at, just butt ass naked in the shower, freezing already, just looking at the shower like, dude, this is going to suck. And those days when I anticipate it, just like you anticipate anything, and you start building up these like anxieties over what ifs and things like that, as soon as the water hits me, it's like a relief, because I'm like, oh, this didn't even suck as bad as I thought it was going to suck. So that's why I do it, because you're going to have those things through your day where you're like, this sucks, I can't do it. And you get nervous and you're like overthinking things all day. But in reality, it's like that moment's going to come where there's going to be something you don't want to do, and you're going to do it, and it's going to be in the past from there.
Yep.
So it's like, how do you perceive it and how do you get through it? So that's why I do it, as like a training course. And a lot of people would say it could be contradicting that you're putting yourself through that. But again, that's why I consider it like a practice to build myself so I can live that way throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah. And you talk about anxiety too, and with the cold showers helping that. Like,
yeah.
My girlfriend's dealt with some anxiety, like especially this past year a little bit. And like, she's actually like heard from doctors like, okay, you're dealing with anxiety's coming up, go put an ice cold towel on your neck and it'll shock your whole system. Like,
yeah.
Like you hear, like I've heard that before. So like, I mean, dude, I'm a proponent of it. I'm all for it. It's just about getting fucking doing it.
And we're going to bring out the ice bath right now. Yeah. But that's another thing, the shock therapy. And like, people would probably say like, oh, why do you want to shock yourself? Like there's other ways to do it. But it really is like a reset. Like I was talking to someone else about this, about the anxiety and the, being like overwhelmed. And if like they said, like if you took like an ice bath, like a ice bucket or a bucket and put ice water in, and just like put your head in it, it'll literally like reset you, and you'll come back out and the anxiety's gone. And it's that same thing. It's like your anxiety is overthinking things that are going to happen, or that not necessarily are going to happen. You're just anticipating something.
Yeah.
Like you're just coming up with scenarios in your head, whatever it is you're having anxiety about. One day I'm gonna die, what this, that, like you're just thinking of things that like either are inevitable or may not happen. And by thinking of them, all you're doing is making them real in that sense. So that shock therapy, like it definitely does work, and I do it myself. But it's also, if you are dealing with things like that, it's understanding that whatever you are thinking may or may not happen, but by thinking that and allowing the energy of that thought to like possess you, like in that moment, you're allowing it to really happen. Yeah. And then you're there like making that scary anxiety real in that moment, which may never ever happen.
Yeah. Which brings us into a good point, like the mental game. Like, how do you develop that part of your life? How are you working on making that strong?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do one more thing on cold showers though, real quick. I did tell CJ this before, that you need to get in a segment that's just, it's like cold-blooded questions with like it'd be like a little thing like like cold-blooded questions with Boff or something like that. And
in the cold shower,
in the cold shower, and you're getting asked questions. You know what I mean? I
love it. I'll FaceTime you tomorrow morning. You can ask me one right in the shower.
You FaceTime somebody else every morning. But
I love that though. You may see that on the gram.
Yeah,
right? You'll see it soon.
So you were saying, how have I like what developed?
Worked on your mental game? Yeah, man,
that's hard. I feel like I haven't really worked on it. I feel like it's more so that everything that I've been through. It's more like the experience I've been through. That's kind of how I've worked on my mental game. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it with you last time. Like the amount of times, like the amount of adversity that I've dealt with over my hockey career has been absolutely insane. Oh, yeah. Like you look at like I mean, you guys know me. I'm a cocky person. Like I know like my ability, but I'm not a selfish person. I'm not from like that standpoint. But like I know my ability. Like I am where I am right now. But it's crazy to think what the fuck I had to go through.
Yeah.
And then look at where I'm at right now and saying, oh, like how is this kid still playing hockey? Like this kid still likes the sport. Like you know what I mean? Just like I've been cut, dude. I've been like committed to a program for 4 years and then getting released from them and having to transfer to a new school, like just out of the blue, not doing anything wrong, like giving my heart and soul to the fucking like to programs. Like I feel like that's kind of how I've developed my mental state. Honestly, it's more so like, okay, what else could fucking happen? Like bring it on. Like you know what I mean? Like all right, like we talked about this past year, like just the craziest first year of professional hockey that you could have dreamt. That's really good. Yeah. It's just absolutely mind-blowing what I had to go through, and to make it out of it at the end of the day and to somehow get a championship and a Kelly Cup out of it. You look back and you're just like, all right, well, I guess it's worth it. No, all the shit that happened, stuff like that. But even like when this stuff happened, more so like back in the day, like if I got cut or something like that, like I mean there was specific experience. Like for example, I was tendered to the Keystone Ice Miners one of my years. Head coach Michael Gershon. Another funny story. You guys will love this. So I'm tendered with this team, the Keystone Ice Miners in the NA. They're all set, blah, blah, blah. You're coming to our team. Blah, all this stuff's good, but you got to come to camp. Come to camp? Yeah, main camp.
Okay, at least it wasn't
main camp. Go to camp. Great. Have a great camp. All this stuff. This guy, Michael Gershon, has been scouting me for years. Like, so at the end of the camp, we go into the comes to my office, says like, like it's coming down to you and this other guy, and we're gonna take the other guy. Whatever. At the end of the day, like that's happened. That's happened a couple times.
Yeah, that's the industry though.
The funny thing that happened though was after my 3 years at Ferris, that's another story. When I got released from Ferris for basically just doing nothing, them just wanted to go in a different direction.
Oh, you got released from Ferris?
Oh, I didn't. I got cut from Ferris. I didn't get.
Oh, I thought you just.
No, I got cut from Ferris,
which is nuts because I'm looking at your stuff right now, and you did pretty well.
No, I had solid years, and I dealt with injuries my junior year. Like I battled with injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, they brought me into the office one day and just said we're going to go in a different direction. Was on a full ride, all this stuff. It was just nuts. But back to the funny story. The first school that reaches out, Robert Morris, which is where I finished my senior year.
Which you killed it.
The assistant coach of the team, Michael Gershon.
Oh my God.
The guy who cut me from the Keystone Ice Miners.
My gosh.
The head coach of the Maccabee team in Israel. So have a extremely good relationship with this guy now. Like one of my boys. Like,
does he remember that moment though?
Are you kidding me? He calls me up. He's just like, hey Cap, like how are you? I literally was like on the phone like, hey Gersh, like so you want to talk about this now, or you want to like, all right, let's get into it. It was a great conversation, like the way he brought it up, the way he talked about it, everything like that. Like
was he like, sorry man, it was just
oh no, he's such like so my time at Robert Morris, I was able to build I was playing very well, and so I was able to build an extremely great relationship with my coaching staff, which is what I didn't have at Ferris, which is what I lacked, which is what I needed, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
And he was one of the guys I built an extremely great relationship with, and now in 1 year being there. And so like that aspect, like I kind of knew who the guy he was. So like I was able to like shit on him for it. Like every time something happened or something bad, or he was like, Cappy, fucking do this. I was like, you cut me from Keystone 5 years ago. Like, come on now, buddy. Like you can't be doing this. So it's funny.
So when did you like find the time off hockey a little bit, but still on the same topic? Like you do have your own podcast, as you touched on.
I read your mind, baby.
Dude, that's how we work. But when did you find the time? Like you said, it was right before COVID, like a couple of months. Were you thinking of doing a podcast, or how did that even come about?
Crazy. I told you this story. Then did I not a couple weeks ago when I was here?
Well, enlighten the youth.
Yeah.
So crazy. It was just like a couple months before. COVID wasn't even a thing. Okay. It wasn't even. But it also COVID also happened very quick. You know what I mean? So it was about 2 months before COVID, and I honestly woke up and I listened to a bunch of podcasts. Part of my take. I mean, I listen to. I know a bunch of podcasts that are out there. You know, obviously, the Boothe,
the Buzz,
just like even came out,
the Latkeroom.
I was really big in a bar stool like back in the day.
Yeah,
I wouldn't consider myself a stoolie, but I would consider myself. I was pretty.
You know the words.
Yeah, but I was up there. I was watching all the videos and everything like that. So I literally woke up one day, and every podcast that I listen to, they all have a niche. They all have something like a general thing that they try and keep like just a general theme kind of that just defines the podcast.
Definitely.
And I was just thinking like, man, I'm Jewish. Obviously we know this. And Jews, baby, Jews, and not extremely religious, like, but obviously bar mitzvah, you know, the whole nines, you know, grew up, you know, Passover, celebrate all that stuff, but not extremely religious. I was a Hebrew school dropout. You know, I missed hockey. Or I missed Hebrew school for hockey.
I was gonna touch on that too. But
you want to touch on that? That's a tip. That's a everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, it has to go through like those can't play on the weekends and stuff.
Oh yeah,
figuring it out.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, wait, sorry, what were you?
You were going through talking about how you're getting to the podcast.
My bad.
You're good.
Yeah, so obviously, Hebrew school dropout, like I wasn't extremely like religious.
Yeah.
But I realized like there's no podcasts out there that are like Jewish themed. And now our podcast, the Latkeroom podcast, it's not like extremely Jewish or anything like that, but there's no niche that is like Jewish kind of thing.
Definitely.
Like there's just nothing out there. That's just like kind of like, and I've been through so many experiences throughout hockey where like my boys know I'm Jewish. They'll crack a couple jokes, but nothing like extremely serious, and nothing to the point where like I ever got offended and stuff like that. And they knew that there was a boundary, and there always should be a boundary.
Definitely,
in my opinion. So just out of nowhere, I woke up one day and I literally was like, why don't I start a podcast like that just like starts interviewing influential Jewish athletes? That was like the baseline. Jewish athletes. Call my boy up, Johnny Lazarus, who I played with in Wichita Falls, Texas. Knew he was like in like the media program at Mercyhurst. Like that's what he was trying to do. And I called him up, dropped the idea, and he was like, I'm in. We were both just finishing up our last years of school. We didn't know like what was going to happen. I knew I was going to go play pro. He didn't want to play pro. He didn't know what his next venture was. And then it just took off, dude.
Yeah, dude, it really has.
Okay, COVID happened like 2 months later. And we always get asked this, like when people talk to us or we have people on and they ask like, oh, how the podcast started, something like that. And like, they always think like, oh, you started it because of COVID. And like, oh, you're trapped inside, you decided to start a podcast. Like, no, like we actually started like a couple months before. We just got kind of lucky.
Yeah, just unfortunate good timing. Yeah.
And that's how we were able to get some of like our big time guests like right off, like Adam Schefter and guys like that. Like guys, people were just sitting at their house just looking for something to do.
Definitely.
And we were just, shout out to my boy Johnny Lazarus, who was on top of that shit, emailing left and right, like just like crazy people.
And now it's not just athletes, right?
Yeah. So then it eventually adjusted before we even got any guests, because our first guest was a hockey player, and then right after that was a comedian, Jared Freed, and he immediately said like, we're going to run out of athletes. Like it's got to be more diverse, but I love the Jewish, like, so that's just the niche. Like you got to be Jewish to come on the show.
So everyone is Jewish that comes on the show?
Everyone's Jewish.
Okay.
That's
And you make them like show it. They have to show something.
Rep the booth. CJ will come through on Zoom.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching.
No, but we've had those talks. Like we're 100% like we would have people who aren't Jewish come on. It's more so like if you've had an experience with like Judaism like at all.
If you know a Jewish person.
Yeah, you know a Jewish person. It's like the requirements to get into Maccabees, low key. It's like birthright. Like I've heard people like the
crazy stories about birthright.
Oh, I know, but like the requirement. I didn't go. I haven't gone yet.
We got to go together.
Done.
All right.
Say less.
Oh yeah.
Literally, I'm done.
As soon as COVID's over,
I'm in.
There we go.
Let's go. You guys watch that. We'll vlog it.
And I know them, so
And he'll be able to come. Yeah.
Actually,
we have a witness.
I have another like there's a part of my family that is Jewish.
0.2%.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's it's like that because my girlfriend was like, oh, can I come? And there's actually ways around it where it's like if you have like a specific like part that you're Jewish, boom, you're in.
Yeah, my dad's side has Jewish.
You should, if they come on and they're not Jewish, they got to get bar mitzvah on the show. Exactly. I think that would be amazing.
We'll see, like, and that's what we've talked about, and we will 100% have people on that aren't Jewish. It's just going to happen. It's going to eventually adapt to that. And like we've talked about examples of stuff like that. Like for example, Tariq Cohen, football player for the Chicago Bears.
Not a big deal.
He has a hilarious video that he does with another one of our guests that we had on, Adam Cohen or
Sandler.
Oh, sorry, Adam Lefko. Who is like on TNT all the time. You see him with Shaq. He's the white guy with Shaq and all that. Unbelievable dude. So we were thinking about like other ways, like possible have like other people who aren't Jewish have on, and Tariq Cohen obviously came up, and him, he did a video with another guest we had on, Adam Lefko, where he literally is like, basically because Cohen's a Jewish last name.
Yeah, definitely.
So they wanted to like kind of like do like a little like play on like stuff like that. So they literally brought him, and it was like doing everything Jewish. Like they got him bar mitzvah. They lifted him up in a chair. Like they did all this stuff at the bar. So like we were thinking like, okay, like we can have like Tariq Cohen on and have him talk about like his experience, like how much he loves it. And he talks about like the Jewish community all the time. Like always tweets about it. Like when something comes up or something like that, he always tweets about it. But we want to be like cognizant, like we're not like we call it like too Jewy. We're not like too Jewy. You know what I mean? But it's been great, dude. It's been amazing.
Do you guys have a good like Orthodox following? Get some like
honestly, like we actually have a decent following in Israel, surprisingly, which is like pretty surprising.
Because you can
Not
see
really
the
that
demographic.
It's not that surprising.
Demographic. Yeah, no, not that surprising.
But
and then like we're trying to like kind of like mesh with this other platform called Lost Tribe, who's like got a lot of like other Jewish-ish podcasts out there and stuff like that. But we're kind of like trying to you listen to our podcast and we really don't talk about that much Jewish stuff. It's more
but
so
it's the
like
premise that's like
exactly it's
it.
the premise. And what we find crazy about it is just like how tight knit like the Jewish community is. It's really like the hockey community. We talk about it with so many of our guests.
Yeah,
like we have somebody on, so many mutual friends with Laz, with myself. Like we had Jake Miller on the other day.
I saw
like,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
it's awesome.
like,
I didn't know
like,
he was Jewish.
yeah, like it's crazy. Like you don't know so many people are Jewish.
Yeah,
like Adam Schefter we had on,
yeah.
like my boy Adam Fox. We're like, oh, Foxy's Jewish. He plays in the NHL. And another good example of people we have on who like kind of aren't Jewish. We had Nate Thompson, NHL player.
Oh yeah.
Literally came on. He converted.
Oh shoot!
For the
Because of his
podcast,
wife. Yeah, for the podcast.
you can come on and not be Jewish, but you're sure as hell gonna leave Jewish.
but he converted, and it was the funniest thing. He was telling us like, yeah, I was at like my wife's like Passover dinners and stuff like that, and like I just like fell in love with the whole entire like environment. And, like I felt like I was Jewish like the second day I was there.
That's
so
awesome.
I was like, fuck, I'm converting. Yeah,
So
it's just
do you find it that it's really important to kind of do other things and stay away from hockey a bit? Like, because bro, hockey is like when you're not doing the 8-month season, you're coming home and you're working for another.
No,
Just
facts.
training.
Yeah, just all training.
Yeah.
So like, what besides the podcast, do you do anything else to kind of preoccupy your time and keep you away? Besides girlfriend too, that doesn't count.
Honestly, then really nothing. It's more so just like hanging out with my boys because I don't see them throughout the year. That's like my escape. And I talked about this too the other day with one of my boys. Excuse me, with one of my boys is that fantasy football is coming up during the regular season of hockey. This is gonna sound like I don't know, so corny, but like fantasy football is like my escape. Dude.
Everybody,
Everybody need it. Especially, I have a league with like all my boys from back home. My one boy played like pretty competitive football, like University of Central Florida, like very good player, very good dude. But like, man, like I don't hear from him, and then fantasy football season shows up, and I'm hearing from this kid
Every
5
day.
times a day. So like that's kind of my escape when I come home too. It's also like I just said before, like I don't see my boys, I don't see my girlfriend too half the time. So that's my escape.
Okay.
But also from the standpoint as like a lot of people when the hockey season's over, they like to stay off the ice for a little bit and then focus more in the gym.
Yeah.
Me, I came home. Now it was like a very crazy year with COVID.
Yeah,
100%.
And like I got home so late this year.
Yeah.
But man, I got home, I took the weekend off, and I was back on the ice skating 4 times a week.
Wow.
It was like, it
And
was
you
just
still,
like that.
you've been doing that your whole career, like no breaks, like
Unless I was injured or whatnot, like I was skating just because I felt more comfortable like skating consistently, just like throughout the whole entire years. Unless something was bugging me, obviously, you have those kinks. Groin hurts. All right, I'm taking a couple weeks off. Like that's like shit like that happens all the time. But like from that standpoint, I need to like be on the ice. Like I feel like you're never fully away from the game.
Yeah.
But those are just some of the things that like I kind of try and do.
And then I guess the opposite side of that question was, how do you stay so one-track minded then?
What do you mean?
Like how do you stay like this is like the goal?
Okay.
And like nothing else really matters besides like this goal.
Well, I'm not like so one track minded, I would say. Like I'm one track minded when I'm in the season. You know what I mean? When I'm in the season, I'm dialed. I'm like, okay, here's the goal. But I've tried to like I've low key tried to like kind of like break it up into like and kind of like stay in the moment a little bit more. Honestly, and like not worry about like what's so much going to happen like 2 weeks from now. Like,
that's a good.
Oh, like 2 weeks from now, like fuck, we got this game coming up, and we got this guy coming to the game to watch or something. Or just like that's not that happened, but just like an example. So it's more so like throughout the season trying to just like take each weekend, like you don't know what's going to happen each weekend, so just taking each weekend like step by step and like game by game, honestly.
Definitely.
Because man, like even I was talking to one of my buddies. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. You guys know him too, but he's talking about going up to this league and going up to that league and just like having success there and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to, and I know he can have that success there. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to let him know that like, hey, like you need to take it step by step, live in the moment, because if you get too far ahead, dude, that could fuck with your mind.
Yeah.
Like, and you could be back that, like, it's going to make it a longer and harder process in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then like, this might be kind of a tough question, but like you're 25 and now you're touching pro hockey. And it's like, did you ever and I know you just said that you're living more in the moment, but do you ever have those moments where it's like, wow, like I'm 25, I'm just getting to pro. Like there's goalies out there like Hart, in the NHL, like at my age, like when I'm like he's 98, like it's crazy. Do you ever have these like overwhelming feelings where you're like maybe you're not moving fast enough or like all this and that or no?
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of guys, especially younger guys, have like that mindset of like need to get to the NHL now. That's not my mindset right now. Like my mindset right now is like I love hockey so much and I want to play at the highest level possible. Trust me, if I could be in the NHL right now, I would be. Like I'm not saying that. But it's more so like my mindset is stability and, like I said, playing at the highest level. So I want my girlfriend to come to me wherever I'm playing. I want to have money in my pocket. I want to be able to move on with my future. Not move on with my future, but I want to be able to have an idea of what my future is going to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like if I have to, grind out on the ECHL or do what I have to do for a couple of years, I know that there's people out there that I can look at and say, hey, they've been through this road and they've made it to the NHL.
Yeah.
For example, Scott Darling, for example.
That guy's
but it happens. And if it doesn't happen, honestly, I'm not like my mind really like I wouldn't be that affected by that. You know what I mean? I would be more affected by if I didn't, play at a high enough level and make this is gonna sound kind of fucked, but like I want to make a lot of money playing hockey.
Yeah.
I really do.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, like I don't want to like that doesn't mean I have to be in the NHL. But like through all like that I've been through with hockey, through that my parents have been through, the whole process, my girlfriend's been on this whole journey. Like the amount of skill that I know I have in myself, like this is my profession now. I want to make a lot of money doing it. So that's kind of where my mind is. My mind is stability and make as much money as possible doing this while still having fun. Because the minute I stop having fun, then that's
it.
Out of the picture.
Definitely.
Which from another standpoint, like I played in the ECHL last year. I didn't make a lot of money. And I think that was a good like example. Like, okay, like I'm making money playing hockey now. It was my first year actually making money playing hockey, but it wasn't a lot. And I still loved it. And even though I got cut from a couple teams and the whole process that I have, at the end of the day, yes, I did win a championship. At the end of the day, I still loved it. You know what I mean? That's all that matters.
Because you're doing what you love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And did you like what are you doing right now to set yourself up financially for like the future? Are you checking other like side businesses that you could start? Are you doing anything along those lines?
I'm trying to. I got a lot of money sitting in one place. Obviously I'm into some stocks. Like I do a little bit and stuff like that, but like nothing like crazy. Like obviously we started the podcast not so much for it to make money off the bat, but now it's a business.
Yeah.
And we want to make money doing that.
I was touching on that too. Like how have you guys, because you guys are doing really well, like probably close to a couple, like 10,000 followers at least on like Instagram, somewhere near there, a couple 5, 6, 7,000. How long did that take to grow? Because you guys are still new. I know we're working and we talked with JT the other day about like not worrying so much about those views or those followers and just being consistent and putting out that content. So have you guys found yourself chasing that? Because you see the success coming now.
Oh yeah. We have like right now we're like have like consistency with like followers and listeners, but man, there's hard times.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, I mean, I deal with it too. Like, I mean, and I give a lot of credit to our producer Max and my other co-host Laz. Like they do a lot. Talked to this about CJ too when I was here before. Like, yeah, I came up with the idea, but and I do a lot of work for our podcast, but they do a lot of work for our podcast. So they get and I get frustrated too sometimes, but they get frustrated to the point where we're not making money at this point. And at first it was this is fun. We love to do this, but at a certain point it gets to okay, we're still doing this, but can we make money doing this?
Yeah.
Can we? And you do find yourself chasing. You do find yourself doing this, but man, like you said, like consistency is the biggest thing.
Definitely.
And like, there's been moments like you text me, like, and you guys will 100% this will probably happen to you. Like you guys will come up and like you guys will text you, they're like, man, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you. Hopefully you guys blow the fuck up after this episode.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
baby.
that's gonna happen.
That's
moon, baby, to the moon. But no, so like Laz has texted the group like multiple times, like, hey, like I don't know if I could do this like anymore. Like for the amount of workload that I have, like we're not making that much money through our ads. We're not making through much or through our sponsors. We're not making through our listeners. Like, and then like the next day he texts me like, I'm just kidding. I love doing this. Like Jewish pride, baby.
Is that where the funds come from? Like through the sponsors and through like the listeners?
Now, we like I said before, we were trying to get on this like other platform with called like Lost Tribe and like do a deal with them, and then that would also bring money. But we've gotten all of our sponsors ourselves. Yeah, our producer Max has gotten a majority of them. So that's where the money comes from now currently.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But trying to get more, like I said, like we had the opportunity to go on that platform. We denied it at first, and we're trying to see if we maybe go that route again. But like I said, I mean, like you said, sorry, consistency, dude. Like you, ooh, you know what that
Time
means?
to take out the garbage.
It's garbage.
You know what that means? Cold-blooded questions. Get
serious. Here, I was actually about to ask it, so that was a kind of good timer.
Yeah.
Speaking of successes and like what you guys found there, how do you define success?
That's tough. How do I define success?
You got to answer in 10 seconds.
Yeah, right. I'd say I define success as, like, I'll give you an example, I guess, just for hockey. Like, how would I define me having a successful hockey career? Me having a successful hockey career would be playing till I'm 35 years old, mid 30s, and making a good amount of money playing the game and just loving it.
Yeah.
And retiring at the point where I know that I've given everything that I've had to this game and there's nothing else I can give left. So how I would define success is kind of just, I guess, just honestly succeeding in I feel like you can succeed in your own mind, but to others you might not succeed. Does that make sense?
No, definitely. Yeah.
So I could, like I said, I could maybe retire next year and I could say, you know what, I had a great fucking year.
Yeah.
If that was my mindset, you know what, I had a great hockey. I succeeded in hockey. I committed to Division I. I got that full ride scholarship. I did all I had to do. I succeeded. But other people may look at me and said, you know, he only played 2 years of pro hockey. You know, did he really succeed and stuff like that? So I think it's more of like your own mindset.
Yeah.
I think it's really like how, like you said, how do you define succeeding? I really don't know how I define succeeding, but I guess once I get to the end of my hockey career, I'll kind of have that little talk with myself and realize
we'll come back to that question when you get there.
We'll come back and see if I succeeded or not, honestly.
What about small successes though? Like along the way?
Like little successes?
Yeah. You said like, and I don't say it as like a bad thing, but like, you got to college and you're like, okay, that's a mini success. And you got like to juniors, that's a mini success. And like, I was definitely that mindset as well. Like in the sport, like chasing that you have to be kind of to level up. But do you find yourself, or maybe not, when you're picturing success in that realm of trying to like level up and you don't, like when you got cut from the team and you didn't make it, did that like devastate you and make it like, oh, this isn't, I failed? Or were you like, okay, maybe that's not what success means. Maybe just like putting my heart into hockey every single day is success, and like other people don't define that for me.
No, I definitely agree with that statement. Like putting your heart into hockey and that being the success. But I feel like from my standpoint, just because like how competitive I am,
definitely
that's not what success is to me. Success is fucking
when you
winning.
Get it.
Yeah.
So what happens when you don't, like in the sense, like when you don't succeed, how do you take that?
How do I take that? In the past, I took it terribly.
Okay.
I would fail. I'd point fingers.
Yeah.
I would say, this is why I didn't succeed. But in some circumstances, I think that's how it was. But in others, honestly, it probably wasn't. It was probably, you know, I didn't do enough off ice. I didn't play well that game. I didn't play well at the camp or something like that. So back in the day, I took failure like shit.
Yeah.
Now, like I said before, through everything that I've been through, I think that I really adapt to failure pretty well. For example, like I got cut from the first team that I was on the ECHL this year. I straight up, after I got cut, went into the like had like a full blown conversation, like very calm.
Okay.
Like before I would like maybe like freak out or walk or anything like that. Like I straight up, I gave it to this guy. Don't get me wrong, I gave it to him, but like in a very like straight up, like how I'm talking to you guys now way, just literally just like explaining to him the details of how much of a fucking idiot this guy was.
Yeah.
I hope this guy listens to the podcast. But
he might be. I know who you're talking about.
I know. But hey, that's fine. I don't care. He listens to it. Hey, more the merrier.
It wasn't a coach or anything?
Oh, no, it was a coach.
It was a coach.
We'll talk about it after.
You know him.
All right.
Yeah, you know
I'm excited.
Yeah, big fan. Or at least he thought he was of my game. But so I guess everybody takes failures differently, but I'm definitely, as I've gotten older, like way much more matured in like that aspect, and like you have to, dude. Like,
and you try to just, in a sense, then grow from it. Like you're like, okay, I, in a sense, in your mind, like failed here, so how can I learn and what can I do to like prosper and get out of this?
Straight up, yeah. I mean, the coach in Allen, Texas, Steve Martinson, who I'm pretty close with, who actually cut me this year, but like wants me to come. It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, dude, it's the game. It's a grind.
Just
it's
like
crazy.
Like just have a straight up conversation with him, like why this went down, like all the stuff. Like if you're honest with me, I'm like that. I'm cool. Like you know what I mean.
Definitely.
I'm cool. But be honest. Like don't bullshit. Don't beat around the bush.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bro, I mean, like, you just stay like it's a great lesson to learn there, because it's like I'm looking at you, right? Like I'm looking at your elite prospects, and like especially like you just said, like in these past, like, you know, since like 18, 19, like from going from Ferris to Robert Morris, and then like coming here to like Allen American, the Fort Wayne, or it's mixed up here, but it's just like battle, like one day, like all this is going to pay off, and like you will find like your stride. Yeah. But it's just like staying the course, and it's like I feel like a lot of people, they just don't give it enough time. Like you've been giving it a good amount of time, and like you still have more time, and like you don't plan on giving up anytime soon.
I love the grind, dude. I love it. Honestly.
It's like you're living in that moment in that sense. It's like you said earlier, like just being there, even though in some people might look at that and be like, oh, look how long his career is like prolonged or whatever. It's like, no, dude, like that kid's living his dream. Exactly. Like he is just doing what he loves to do, and now he's getting paid to do it. Like it doesn't need to be labeled by the NHL. Of course, that'd be the number one goal for anyone. It's anyone's dream. But like at the same sense, like you got to host your own trophy right there that season, and like pro, you got people were paying to watch you do that, and it's like kids look up to you in that sense too. So those mini successes you do reach, and you are reaching them. It doesn't matter, like you said earlier, what path you're going, as long as you're mentally like enjoying that moment. Even if it's bad and you have to not enjoy that bad moment, just be in that moment, because like one day that's not going to be there, and you're just going to have to, that's going to be a memory. So staying like in that sense on track and watching your career build, it's kind of a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
No, dude, 100%. I appreciate that.
So before we wrap this up, what's your one piece of advice to anyone out there that's chasing their dream?
That's chasing their dream. I'd say don't be so sensitive. Now let me elaborate on that.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Or 2021.
Don't be so sensitive. No, because like we just spoke about, I think like you're gonna go through adversity. Like obviously there's people out there who go straight to the top, and you know, don't have to go through the hard route, don't have to go through all these bumps, ups and downs, stuff like that. But I think it's how you react when these situations arrive. Yeah. Do you get cut? Do you go crawl into your room and just, you know, eat like shit for the next 2 weeks, and then come out and you're 10 pounds overweight and ask why you're not on this team or something, or you're asked why this isn't going wrong? So I think it's how you react to when these situations occur. You know, go do better. You know, go lose weight. Go, you know, work out. Go do whatever you're gonna do, or come to the realization of why that this didn't happen, and then on your next adventure, your next whatever the word is, then you'll succeed. So I guess like don't be so sensitive, and don't take everything for granted. I don't know.
I like that. No, definitely. And I feel like that's also like, you, in a sense, like you have to look at yourself sometimes. Like if you're always pointing the finger at other people, like point the finger at yourself. Like you said, like don't be so sensitive. Like maybe if things aren't going right, like you got cut from a team, like maybe it wasn't everyone else's fault. Maybe there's something you can learn from that experience to like progress further in your career. Yeah. Instead of letting that like bad moment own you.
That's what I was kind of getting. I wasn't saying like don't be so sensitive. Like
no, that's not.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, yeah, it was more saying like don't fucking like make the most of the opportunity. Yeah, don't like obviously something bad happens. Don't fucking. It's not the end of the day. That's what I was really getting at. It's not the end of the day. Like there's worse shit that's going on. I always say that. Like
that's the truth.
My girl, like something bad happens to my girlfriend. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like there's so much worse shit that's going on right now. Like,
my nail's broken though.
Yeah. No, she's not like that.
But yeah. So is there anything else? Are you guys anything else you want to touch on really quick?
No, I'm good. Shout out the Latkeroom.
Yes. We're gonna link everything in for all you YouTube watchers. Where everything's gonna be linked in the description. Where can they find you? At
the Latkeroom, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
Spell
Facebook. At LATKE room, one word. That's LATKE.
And then what about you?
Too many ad reads.
Yeah, that sounded beautiful. These guys are professional.
No shout outs for yourself?
Shout out at JP Cappy on Instagram. Twitter, I think it's at JP Cappy as well. Yeah, just go follow.
Let's go, boys. Yes.
A lot of hockey. If you want to follow the journey.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you want to see posts about my hockey career and my girlfriend, go follow.
Yes, make sure to go follow. Watch his journey to pro hockey. We'll be there watching it with you.
It's been a great
follow the
career.
Boothe, by the way.
Thank you,
This is fucking sick. These guys got going on.
We're actually looking. I don't know if it'll happen yet. Thank you. I don't mean to cut you off on our compliment, but we're at 299 followers right now. So hopefully,
yes. Who's
getting that 300? Who was it?
Well, it's been an absolute honor having you on,
Seriously,
man.
Bro.
Thank you for taking the time to come in here and explain your journey to pro hockey. We really appreciate it. Yeah. We will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks, guys.